This is how I'm going to get the radiator system done, I think. It's about how far I'm going to have it across from, away from the condenser, which sucks, but for now it'll work. So what I've done is, you're always going to laugh, I made these brackets out of scrap metal. So, like, they're super thick. Way overkill. Basically, I might show you guys after I get them installed. These spots where these bolt holes are somewhere on the frame that you can actually run a factory bolt through it. And these are the same size as the rubber mounts on the radiator to sit in. And then right here, this is the factory style radiator holder. So normally this is on the other side like this, and it holds down the rubber pieces on it. Well, can't use that, right? So what I've done is took a factory one, welded a bolt to the center of it, made it into a stud. So what you can do is push this back, put it in there, line up the hole, boom. When it's bolted down, it has all the brackets on it. It's super stiff. It's really good mounting, and it's factory. And my only worry is that the hood might not close, but we'll see. And then the spacing. I obviously don't like the spacing there, but oh well. For now it'll work until I can figure something else out. If I can ever get a hold of a factory T2 radiator that's from here to here factory, then that'd be great. But this way I don't have to modify anything factory except for this hole here, which that's not a big deal. So I'm going to get these put in real quick and show you how it works. Okay, so as you can see, here's the left one and here's the right one. So the rubber sits right into the focus. Rubber sits on the top right of this one, and then the bolt nuts holding down. These are factory nuts and bolts. I would have had a much better design had I done this prior to putting the engine in here, because I could have put nut certs right here. It made it look a lot cleaner and not had huge brackets like this, but whatever, it'll work. They're super sturdy, like they are not moving. And then if we go look up on top real quick, here's how I have it up here. So factory one, factory rubber, and it's not moving. Like, it's great. My only worry is that somehow this doesn't clear, but I think it will. It just doesn't look all that great. But good to go on that now. Now on to plumbing everything. Woo! Okay, bottom of the radiator is done as I care to do it. So, because this is a Honda radiator, obviously it's not meant to go in this car, so there's not really any good options for hoses. So, I had to make my own, and I actually found a forum post that would talk about how to do this, and they were right. So, let's see what I got going here. Oh, there's not enough room underneath this car. Okay. Welcome to Ghetto Apocalypse. So, here we go. So up here we got a 3/4 outlet, or no, it's 1 1/4 inch outlet, and then the water pump itself is 2 inch or something like that. Well, anyway, these are 1 inch 90-degree copper bins, and I took a factory TBI lower, cut it right here, and just kept cutting and measuring, and I ended up with this. And it actually is a pretty graceful turn. It's pretty sturdy. I don't think this will cause any damage. The only worry I have is, since it's touching the oil pan, it might wear a hole in it right here, or the steel strap might start cutting into the oil pan. But other than that, I think it'll work. And now all I gotta do is figure out the top one. And ironically, even though it looks easier, it might be harder, because I basically just need a straight piece, but because it's such a tight lengthwise, so it'd be straight from here and then straight from here, because of the way rubber is, it doesn't want to bend without kinking. So like even this factory hose, like, you could technically put it like that, but obviously it'll deform. So I'm gonna sit here and play with that, but I think I almost got the radiator done. Mint. Alright, this is what I got going on for the exhaust. So I tacked it right there, and I kind of got it welded right there. But that side right there needs more weld on it. But my welder broke, so that's cool. I won't feed the wire through now, so I gotta take it apart and fix it, and I'll do that later. But there's the gap I put on the frame. So it can... It's pretty stiff, but that's what the flex joint's for. I mean, it probably is fine right there if I just keep it welded like that, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and lower the car back down the ground, cut that off, and then fix it later, but for now that'll work. Okay, I'm just gonna take a video of the interior because I've never had the Daytona this nice. So the doors have the speaker covers on them. Never had those on there. Got the center console all figured out. Replaced this fog light switch, so when I have the fog lights hooked up, it'll actually work. The door indicator works. Gauge works. Radio works. And I believe all the lights work. These ones are dim. I put LEDs in this one. I'm gonna swap these out eventually. But that's cool. Never had these on before. I need to wash it, but usually you could see wires right there and frame right there. So that's freaking awesome. Oh, best part is that the shifter works. So haven't had a factory shifter on this in a good minute. That didn't work before, and if it was dark in here, the light on this would actually show. The indicator works, so that's baller. Swap this out, so now the defrost works. That didn't used to work because the relay in here is busted, so I checked one of the other Daytona. Oh yeah. Alright, sometime later, I actually got the car running, but I want to show you guys what happened. So, I was trying to test drive the car, and as expected, oh, look what popped out there. No freeze plug. So, now I gotta start taking this stuff apart and get to the freeze plugs and swap them out before they blow out again. Yeehaw. So, here's my long time no-see update on the Turbo Daytona swap. So, I already got the whole thing running. And I took a drive around the block and the freeze plug popped out, and I probably explained this in the last clip. But I have it back at my house now, so I'm going to pull the motor out, fix a couple things in the engine bay while I'm in there, because there's a power steering leak on the rack, and there's a leak in some of the brake calipers, and the main part is that I need to fix the water system on this, because all those little freeze plugs right there, those are all going to pop out. So I'm going to take this whole motor out, fix the stuff in the engine bay while I'm in there, and then pop new freeze plugs in those that actually work. I did get some in the back to kind of fit, but for some reason that hole's fine, that hole's fine, that one is bigger than the rest of them. So I'm going to get it all out of the car. It's a lot easier to mess with it when it's not in the engine bay, because I literally have like this much room in there to mess with stuff, and it's pretty hard to put a freeze plug in when you have this much room to hit anything with it, and it's at an angle, so you'll never get it in right. So I'm going to get this pulled out, and I'll show you guys what's going on after that. Okay, motor is out. I need to get a GoPro or something so I can show you guys what I'm doing. But anyway, here's the problem. See right there, there's no freeze plug in that hole. Yeah, it's not good. I've got those ones in there, expandable ones, but I only did that because it was easier to do it when it was in the car. So I'm probably going to take those back out, clean all this garbage I have up in here, pop some new freeze plugs in it, and call it good. But so far, these engines are stupid easy taking in and out. Just kind of showing you the whole package here. There's my custom radiator hose. And show you what I'm going to have to do in here. So, first off, there's a leak from right here on the power steering. We'll clean that up. Take all these banjos off, or compression fittings. I'm not sure what's on those, but take them off, clean them up. And then there's also a leaking brake right here. Fix that while I'm at it. And I guess degrease the engine bay again, because you know, oil slinging around. So let's get at it. Alright, got the freeze plugs in. Wasn't too difficult, just kind of annoying. While I was at it, I fixed some oil leaks that have grown around on the engine. So right here, I had to put some Teflon tape on the AN to NPT adapter. Unkinked the AN line going to the turbo. So that's better. And pro tip, anytime you have rubber lines, make sure they're not touching any abrasive metal. So in this case, I have my line running right with this 4th cylinder coolant mod. And so what I did is you take a zip tie, wrap it around both items, and run a zip tie between them and pull it tight so it keeps them separated. And so I got these cheap little, 2-cent brackets, keep them away from each other so they won't rub through the rubber one. And rubbing through this would super duper suck because I would lose the cylinder head and burn the motor up. And while I was at it, I tightened up some stuff back there on the oil fitting. I pressure tested the wastegate and made sure these lines weren't kind of be in the way and all that jazz. The only thing I didn't do that I wish I could have done is modify the turbo or this somehow because it's kinked. But I can always do that later, I guess. And so now I need to get on with my list, which is right here. So I need to fix the leaks on the power steering rack and change the brake line. And then everything should be able to go back in and go from there.